Before we get into the video, if you're looking for top quality sample packs, preset packs and templates for your music production, they're entirely royalty free. You can use them in your own productions and learn from them. If you're interested, check out the link in the description and enjoy the video. What's good people, it's bbrights and I am back with a brand new video. Today's video I'm working on a new episode of making a drop like. Today's episode I'm making a drop like SaberZ. I would like to apologise for making another SaberZ related video. I recently just finished my SaberZ from start to finish episode series, but since then I've learned some new tricks and techniques to actually make a more accurate representation of a SaberZ style track. As always, I'm giving the FLP out for free, so let's get straight into it and we're going to be starting off with the kick drum. So for the big room kick, we have 5 layers here. We have a top kick with a hi-hat for attack and it gives it a nice bit of high frequency to the kick. We have a punch layer, we have a sub layer, and we have a sub frequency layer, meaning it adds harmonics to the layer. So let's go from top to bottom. So we have a top kick here. Sounds like that. It's from a track called Storm, I believe. See, it's originally an A sharp. Push it down to G, just to change the punch tonality and timbre. Again, like I said, we have a hi-hat. Adds attack, a bit more high frequencies, a bit more punch, makes the kick punch through the mix a bit more, which is very nice. Then we have a punch layer. Then we have a SaberZ sub layer. And then we have a frequency layer, which is the same kick, just it's easier for me to make them separate so I can have more control over the sub, process it differently, so that's why I do that. And then as you can see here, I have a pitch automation. So it's quite common that at the last kick of the second bar pitches, and then as usual we have the same pitch before as most of their songs. So that is the kick drum, sounding very nice. One thing I want to add for processing, which I just forgot to add, is an R bass to the sub, which will give it a lot more punch and a lot more power, but we'll do that at the end. But that is the kick drum. Next we're going to move on to the drums. So for the drums, I've kept it quite basic since SaberZ have their main lead as their main point. So the drums are quite basic, they're just there to support the track, like on beat claps, some off beat toms, and maybe some small fills for transition, stuff like that. So we just start off with some simple on beat claps on the second half of the first 8 bars. Nothing too crazy. And on the second half we add this extra clap here. It has a ride built in. They're a bit wider as well, gives it a more stereo feel. Then we have these on-beat toms here, or these off-beat toms, sorry. Classic rhythm as well with the little roll here. And then we have a big snare. Bearing in mind I've pitched it up, so it might sound weird, but this is what they do, this is what sounds good. So the original one sounds like this because it's in the key of C. And then what I've done is I've made a unique, I showed this before in a previous tutorial, I've made a unique, kept this the same because this is the attack of it, and then I've pitched the tonal end to E. So I pitched it up 4 semitones because we're working in the key of E, and I have this sweep here from another snare. So that's what I have, and then we have this simple fill here, which is just this snare, played twice. And then this simple zippy fill, which is down here as well. So the first fill here is not as good as this, because this is a pre-drop fill, so this is in between. So we're going to have like some synths here as well, and maybe like a chord fill. And then the end part is an actual fill, because this is to transition back into the break or the outro. So the actual fill sounds like this. And then the original one sounds like this. So overall, including with the kick drum, it sounds like this. So that is that. Next, we're going to move on to the main part which everyone's waiting for, the big old drop leads. So this is what I have for the drop leads here. I have 4 layers and a reverb carry. I'm quite proud of these leads. They're not completely done because I'm going to make some adjustments when I move on to the next part, which is this chord fill here. I'm going to add some extra synths. So they're not finalized, but it's about 80% done. So this is what I have for the drop leads. So lead 1 sounds like this. That's the main lead, sorry. So this is the backup lead 1. Lead 2. Lead 3. And lead 4. And of course a reverb carry. So if I play all the leads together, it sounds like this. Pretty good. So the individual processing, nothing crazy, just an EQ, cutting out the low, and this one was quite resonant in these 170 and 337 frequencies. If I play it, you'll hear. Right there, so I just took them out. Again, another EQ. So all these had EQ apart from the last one, which added some stereo imaging. And of course, lead 1 and 2 are panned a bit to the left and a bit to the right. And then obviously the main bus is what has the main processing. So we have a Camel Crusher, classic British clean preset. That creates low end, so you cut that off with an EQ. And then I have a Pro Q3, sweep the resonant frequency sweep. So you sweep and then you duck, is a very common trick. Another EQ doing a dip in that same frequency. Then a compressor, reverb, another EQ just to take all this low out just in case. And then to end it off with a sidechain. So that sounds like this. And of course, as you can see here, I've created an automation clip for the vintage Valhalla reverb. So it's an automation clip for the mix level. So when the leads are not playing, I've done an automation sweep here. So it goes up, so it makes like a suction effect. If I play it from here, if I unmute it. There you go. So that's what I've done. And the only other thing I've done is I've made a unique for the second half. Just made some small adjustments compared to this. Stuff like that, and then this one here. Just some small note adjustments just to keep it interesting. So that is the drop leads. Now we're going to move on to the chord fills and the little things in between. So this is what I've got for the chord fill. I've also added some stabs here, layered 3 stabs. Nothing too complex, it's just 2 simple layers playing some chords here. And then we have this one here. As you can see, I chopped it up a little bit to give it a little bit more rhythm. And of course, we can't have that blaring straight away, so that's why I've added a filter here. Makes it filter in nicely, goes along with the feel very nice. So that is that. Again, nothing too crazy on the processing. Camel Crusher, EQ, DJ and filter. It's a free plugin, this one, so you can download that right now. And again, reverb. And then, like I said, I've got 3 stabs here. As you can see, I called it that stab just because it is that stab. Everyone uses it, but it's not just that on its own. I've layered it with 2 other cashmere ones just to make it a bit more unique. So one of them sounds like this. And the other one sounds like this. And of course, that stab. It's that stab. Everyone knows that stab, so it's called that stab. As you can see, it's masked pretty well with these 2 stabs, so you can't just tell it is that one. Yeah, sounding pretty good. And finally, we're going to move on to the effects to round it off. So to finish it off with the effects, simple effects as usual, just downlifters really, there's nothing really much to effects, it's just crowds, downlifters and sweeps to help with transition really. So yeah, so this is the first effect. A crowd is a very essential in big room drops, just makes it sound so much bigger than it is. Like I said, it's sort of like a psychological thing. You hear a crowd, it just makes it sound much bigger. I don't know why, it's just how it works. What I was meant to do is just boost the high end a little bit. There we go. Just to make it beef out a bit more. And then we have a simple white noise. I always like to have an effect that hits again on the 4 bars, so this is why I like this one again. because then it hits again here, reinforces the power, and then it shuts off here because we don't need any white noise because we have the fills and all that stuff. We have a sweep. As you can see, it bleeds over because there's no kick here. So we need a nice little transition back into the drop, so that bleeds over like that. But then we also have another sweep just to help with the regular. And has a nice reverb tail as well. So yeah, all the effects sound like this. Yeah, that is the effects. That is pretty much the track done. So I hope you enjoy the final result. And here we go. So that is the final result. So I hope you enjoyed. I'd just like to point out before we move on, if my track or this drop sounds anything like SaberZ releases, I do apologise. I really enjoy Saber style and I think I can recreate it pretty well. So if it sounds familiar like anything else, I do apologise. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, I will be giving this FLP out for free. So in the description there's a mega link to download the FLP. Go use it, learn from it, it's all yours, so enjoy that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, helps the channel grow, it makes me happy. I've got a new video coming Wednesday. I'm back to my new schedule now. It's the new part of W&W from start to finish. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, produce music, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon.